Hello everybody, John here, and today onto the garage, I've got another new toy. I've got a new jack. So I thought I'd share with you what I've bought, why I've bought it, and jacks. Let's have a chat. So a jack has got to be one of the most fundamental tools for any garage dweller, petrol head, mechanic. If you're going to be working on cars, trucks, vans, motorhomes, anything at all, then you're going to want to have a jack. Now, I've got this rather lovely strongman lift, as many of you regular watchers of the channel will know. And it's awesome, and I don't regret it for a moment. It literally has the car parked on it. It takes up no space whatsoever. Its only compromise is one bunch of cables, well actually hydraulics hoses, running across the floor, which I could easily put a speed bump over or bury in the floor, but just haven't got around to it. And having that cabinet by the side. As you can see, in terms of footprint, non-occupied. But even with that, it's really handy to have a jack around. And recently I purchased Ruby, the Rapido, a 3.75 tonne motorhome, and that was enough for me to say, oh, new toy, I need a much stronger jack. So let's talk a little bit more about our jacks. There's the ducky friends again. Hello. Here's my current fleet. And it's pretty obvious that this big boy on the end is my new toy. Essentially, there are three main types of jacks we use in our garages: scissor jacks, bottle jacks, and trolley jacks. Today I'm talking trolley jacks. I have a scissor jack and a bottle jack as well. Now their uses. This is a very old test right. It's a 1.5 tonne rated jack. It's battered and the top's in need of a bit of paint and all the rest of it. But I've got it because it was the very first proper investment I ever made when I started out as a youth, working in a council garage around the back of my grandma's, trying to build kit cars at bits of old Morris Marina. And so having that in the garage is just kind of nice because it's the original, and it served me well. I've never broke it, I've never had any problems with it, and I've obviously not really cared for it too well. But it's typical of the sort of jack that you would buy today from all sorts of different places, very generically built, for around £30 UK, something like that. Next up is the jack that until recently was my favourite. Again, not an expensive jack. It's probably amongst the more popular jacks in the UK for your amateur user because it's Halfords' own brand, which is a pretty big chain of auto parts stores in the UK. It was about £40 when I bought it. I think they're maybe even cheaper now. It's a 2 tonne jack, and it's got a longer arm and a higher lift than my original, and that's why I bought it, because I wanted just a little bit of extra lift, plus 2 tonnes seemed more appropriate as I was dealing more and more with vans as well as cars in my selection of toys. And then very recently like this week, I got this beauty. This is my SGS low profile 3-ton trolley jack. And I would say this is, let's say, semi-professional standard, in that it's strong enough to take a lot of abuse for a lot of years. It's got the width that gives it real stability, and it's got a fast action unlike the other two. So let's just do a few compare and contrasts, and then we'll have a look in detail at my SGS. So first, the test ride. Now, it's a big advantage to have a low profile, i.e. the height of this wants to be as low as possible when it's retracted, and we're at 12.5 centimetres. Taking this to the top of its travel takes this long and this many strokes. "52 strokes. To bring that down, you use the handle, which has a T-piece in the end, to work a valve. You undo it and it collapses reasonably quickly, but you've got to give it a little bit of help to do the last bit." Next, the Halfords 2-ton. Say worst case is probably 40 quid. In terms of its profile, very similar, 13 centimetres. So let's get this one up in the air. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 44, 45. 45 strokes. And in 45 strokes, we achieve 38 centimetres. Release is very similar. Undo, and obviously you've had a heavy weight on it, be alright, but again you've kind of got to give it a bit of help, else you'll be there all day. This one does have an advantage over the cheaper one, in that the distance between where you do the cranking and where it does the lifting is 40 centimetres. On the smaller jack, that's 30 centimetres, and that means that you can reach under the car better before you risk hitting the bodywork with a handle, maybe to reach a diff. You want to lift from a diff or a subframe. That can be an advantage. Let's move on to the main event. So the SGS has a profile of 10 centimetres. So this is just 10 centimetres high, and all the bodywork is very low, and it is 10 centimetres high there. So you can get underneath the car really well with that. Let's have a look at the lift and how long it takes to get there. I'm probably going to be slower cranking it just because the lever is so long. So I'm just going to shorten my handle by taking out the extension piece and go. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 strokes. So 10 strokes to get 53 centimetres of lift. So while it's up in the air, just have a look at the construction. It's not the neatest welds in the world, but very robust. You can see it's got one huge cylinder there and quite a nice looking mechanism for amplifying movement. And round the back we've got 2 pistons pumping it up. Very interesting. We've got these rollers acting on valves with valves with return springs. So it isn't a linkage, it's literally pressing buttons. Quite nice. The return action on this is slightly different. You can see a UJ there, and that is operated by the handle twisting, and that releases the valves. And if I do that for us right now, and it's got some quite significant return springs, it pulls it back down again very swiftly and very nicely. And you can do that turning the valve on and off at any angle because of the UJ, which I really like. Let's see, there's a grease nipple there for the main pivot. Always nice to see. And that indicates something that's meant to last a little while. The cup has a pad in it which can be removed, and the cup itself could be unbolted if you want to put special attachments, make your own special fittings, etc., which is something that quite appeals to me. I've got some ideas where this could be used as a wheel lift to help fit heavier wheels. The handle can be easily detached if it's a pain for storage by just undoing this little wheel, and it literally lifts out. There's a very wide ring there that the thumb screw clamps into. Just push that down, wriggle it to get onto its drive, and turn that, and it's back in position. The rubber cushioning is in case you come up against the side of the car, because there is a spring loaded action. It's to stop you from bumping your car. And you've got this extension bar which drops in. Hugely increasing the length for the handle, which will become quite relevant when trying to lift Ruby the motor caravan, no doubt, but it's probably pretty excessive for Purdy the XK8. Another thing I've noticed that I didn't know I was missing until I got this jack is these wheels. It's got what look like cast wheels, but they're not flat form. They've got a barrel shape to them, and combined with big heavy casters at the back, despite this being a big heavy beast, it's pretty easy to move around on a smooth garage floor, because the barrel shape of the wheels allows me to sort of scuff steer it. So despite it being very heavy, you can manoeuvre it quite well. Now obviously this is a huge leap up in size and quality to what I'd got previously. What did it cost? Well, I'm usually loath to give prices in my videos because they change, but I feel I've got to, just for scale and sense of this. And so the previous two jacks, £29, possibly £40 for the yellow one. This one cost me 119, so £120 UK. It's 2021 as I'm telling you this. That was direct from SGS. Pretty sure this is going to be badge engineered, and there are other jacks which are identical with potentially higher and lower prices for the same thing, but I'm very impressed. Regulars will know I bought my toolbox from SGS, and again I would just repeat, this is not sponsored. I've not been paid to make this video or say the things that I'm saying. I've not been given the jack. I bought it. I just bought it because good value seemed like what I needed, and delivery in the UK took 2 days. So quite impressed. I'm very, very pleased with that. And despite probably only needing the smaller jacks for a lot of my jobs, I know I'm going to be trying to use this one because it looks so cool. So there you go. The SGS low profile 3-ton jack. It's a TJ3LP, if anybody's interested. They do some aluminium jacks as well. Not in the 3-ton range, but in the 2-ton range, but are low profile and a similar design. So for the vast majority of folk, probably an aluminium low profile jack like this would be brilliant with a 2-ton rate. I need 3-ton because new toy. I'll keep you up to date with how we're getting on with her, but first impressions are excellent. Hope you enjoyed this little video and you'll join us again soon. If you're enjoying our channel, then don't forget to subscribe and click the little bell icon so you get notifications of new videos. And please give us a thumbs up or thumbs down, and you can share the videos. And below the video is always the area where you can comment and get involved with the chat.